Welcome to Steel, Forge, and Fire, Sword and Knife. On this channel, we support our U.S. veterans. Veterans, there's a place for you here. There's a number in the description of all my videos if you are in despair. Hello all my new and old sword enthusiasts. I am making this video / podcast in an attempt to answer a most perplexing question. Of course, this conversation can be extremely more detailed and ongoing, but again, please understand this is my opinion. It's completely opinion based, and it's an attempt to try and scratch the surface on one of the most popular questions I have been getting on all my videos. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast / video and hope you get something out of it. What's up, guys? This is Joe from Steel, Forge, and Fire, Sword and Knife, bringing you this podcast type of video. The most popular question that I get whenever I put out a sword video, and you guys know I love swords. Okay, when I put out my sword videos, the most popular question I get all the time is, what sword do you recommend I buy? What do you think should be my first sword? What's a great quality katana out there? What stores you think I should shop at? Or what brand should I choose? For my first katana or for my second katana, whatever the case may be. But people are just wondering where they should go and what they should buy. I try to pretty much reply to all my comments, and I appreciate all the support, and it humbles me, honestly, to get these questions. If people put their faith in me, to be able to guide them in the right direction in terms of spending their money wisely and getting into the sword that fits right for them. I find myself answering these questions with maybe 3 or 4 paragraphs long because it is that difficult, a very difficult question to answer. My friend Ken, Backyard Knife Dude, says it, and he says it so well. It's like somebody asking you, what shoes should I buy? What shoes should they buy? It's like that type of perplexed question that is just, there is no really right answer. Now, my reply to most people when they ask me that question is, in order for me to answer that question to you, I need to probably ask you about 10 or 20 questions before I can give you some kind of a recommendation. I'm not going to make this too long, and I'm not going to give you like a top 10 swords you should buy or top 3 in each price category, because that's going to go on and on forever. I may do one like that one day, but I just wanted to kind of answer this the best way I can so people can reference to this video and try to make it as brief and as, I don't know if there's such a thing as a brief video when it comes to me, but I'm going to try to make it as brief and simple as possible. The questions that you need to ask yourself first is, number one, assuming this is your first katana. You never had a katana in your hand before. You never had a sword in your hand before. What do you want to use it for? If the answer to that question is you just want to have it for aesthetic reasons, you want to, have it for like home decor, you want to put it on a stand, you want to have like a little like makeshift dojo type of thing going on because you love the artistic element of the swords, but you don't plan on using them, or you don't really plan on using them much at all. And honestly, the answer is very easy. Any sword that strikes your fancy, any sword that you like the look of, you like the color scheme, you like the furniture and the parts and just the overall aesthetic and look of the sword, any sword will fit for you. And that could be in a price range for sub $100 or in the $100 to $200 range. It doesn't really matter. What matters is if you are looking to use the sword. You need a real sword that's built well. There's safety reasons. You're handling a very dangerous weapon. You want to get something that's built right. You want to have something that's not going to fall apart. You want to have something where it's constructed to the point where you're going to hit a target and the blade is not going to snap in half and turn into a helicopter of death, okay, to you or people around you. So you want to, safety reasons, you definitely want to get something that's built well and has a reputation of being built well. That's a very important thing, guys, a reputation of being built well. Other question would be, do you have any training? Are you a practitioner? Do you train at a dojo? Do you need a Lido sword? Do you need something for training purposes? Do you want something, a shinken? You want a sharpened sword? So you have to ask yourself, what background do you have in experience of swinging a sword around? Because if you've never swung a sword around, first and foremost, even before I recommend a store, a place, a hemisphere where you can buy a sword. You need to get a little bit of training. I would say go get a bokken, like a wooden sword, where you can train with the sword. Just get the overall feel of how it feels in your hand and how it feels to swing the sword around. And at the same time, if you have any local schools near you, get some training lessons if you're really serious about doing it. Or, you know what? Watch YouTube videos, like I said before. But watch reputable reputable people, masters of the sword. Watch people who are training out of dojos and have YouTube channels. Definitely look those people up, because those are the people that are going to show you how to correctly sheath and unsheath, no-toe and all that, your sword the right way so you don't hurt yourself, to how to properly hold the sword and how to properly swing the sword. Safety is, I can't preach safety more than I can, to the point where it's probably the most important thing that I would preach is learn how to safely use the sword. I don't want to recommend swords to people who are just going to basically haphazardly swing it around and not swing it the right way, because you can seriously hurt yourself or hurt people around you. So training, experience. Let's say that you did your homework, you have an idea how to swing a sword, you're going to swing it safely, you're going to be careful. Then I would say you have to, if it's your first sword, go with a budget sword. Sub 100 to 100 to 150, like let's just say about $80 to about $150 is probably the price point you want to shop as far as a budget sword. Why go with a budget sword right away? Maybe you want a really fancy looking sword for your first sword. You want to take pride in it. I understand that. But if you're looking to swing it around and you're going to do stupid stuff with it and cut stuff with it, and you don't have experience in edge alignment, in swinging, in angle approach, in your stance, you're going to basically swing it the wrong way and you're going to end up damaging the sword. So you don't want to be starting off with like a $300-400 sword and damaging the sword because you don't have the practice or experience of how to swing it. I reviewed a bowie from Amazon. There are many different Amazon sellers, okay? Be very careful with Amazon, because I gotta tell you, most of the stuff on Amazon is just gimmicky crap. There are some good companies that sell on Amazon. I'm not putting it all in a nutshell. Bowie happens to be a good one. Look at my last review. There's a couple different companies. Look them up. Look up their reviews. Look up to see what people are saying about the swords before you spend your money on Amazon swords. That's very important. Other companies that you can shop at for budget swords, Honway. Honway is one of the biggest sword companies on the planet. Ronin is even larger. Right off the bat, I would say for a budget sword that you need to practice with as your first sword, I would recommend going to SBG Sword Store, and going for a Ronin RK series katana. It's a 145 carbon steel blade, tough as hell, built pretty well. And it's a workhorse. It's a beater sword, and you can definitely practice with that. It's about $130, maybe a little more with shipping, and you can practice with it, and you can have a great time with it. If you want to take a step above that and have a little better steel and have something that also is a much heavier cutter, go with the Ronin Dojo Pro, also at the SBG Sword Store. That's a better built sword. It's a Datanuki style blade. It's a very aggressive style blade, a very hard cutter, and it'll handle also harder targets. And that's another really good beater sword from Ronin. It's in that price range because it's built a little bit well, has better parts, better fit and finish. You know, it checks a lot more marks, okay, than the RK series. Those are two great swords. Then if you go with Hanwei, I mean, guys, listen, one of my favorites with Honway is this Practical XL. The Practical XL line from Honway are fantastic. This is an extra wide blade, and this is, you know, a sub $300 sword, and I gotta say, this is, bar none, my favorite sword to cut with. This has cut everything for me. I've took this to the Florida jungles, and I cut in the Florida jungles on thick wood vines, and no edge deflection. It's just such a tough ass freaking sword, and it's so fun to cut and swing with this thing. The Honway Practical XL line is fantastic, and it's usually sub 300 depending on which trim you go with, okay? Honway, definitely go with Honway. There's many different Honways that you can shop at that you can get some really good quality swords. And then go to Cult of Adena. Cult of Adena with a K, K-U-L-T, Cult of Adena. is pretty much the sword store. You can get everything there. You can get budget swords, you can get mid-range, and you can get very high price swords. It's definitely a reputable company. You can trust them. They have it in stock. They'll ship it to you. They support your purchase. Cult of Adena, for the most part, is very, very good. You have bad experiences here and there, like any company, but for the most part, they are a trusted company. You can definitely go to Cult of Adena. Like I said, aforementioned SBG Sword Store. Also, Sword and Armory has a brand called Munetsushi, Munetushi. Munetsushi is also a very good brand. They have budget swords up until mid-range price swords and to, higher echelon price swords. And they're also built very well. They're very good swords. That's another great brand. There's a lot of other brands out there, guys. We don't have, I can't make this an hour-long video, but you have to basically get a budget sword. If you're looking to go mid-range and you have some experience, go with something within the $300-400 range. Look for a Honway. Look at Munetsushi. There's a lot of Ronin. Okay, look for these brands within the mid $300 to $400 price points. And then when you have more experience and you want to venture out and you learn the quality of the steel and you learn the quality of the fittings and you understand a little bit more of the sword, the katana anatomy of the katana, you will be able to appreciate being able to customize, get a custom built sword for you. Then I would recommend going to a custom forge like jkoo sinoswords is very good. I've had a lot of beautiful swords from them. SON, Swords of Northshire, is also a very good custom shop. A little pricier, but they're very good customer service. You have Honway, which I am expecting Honway coming in. Very high quality sword, okay? But the wait for their swords are about a year. Hopefully they get better and hopefully the quality pretty much matches up to the amount of weight that you have to do for that sword. There's a couple different ones out there, guys, but those are the ones I have personal experience with. Now listen, I love swords. I would love to get my hands on so many different swords. And I get some people asking me like, oh, did you have an experience with this sword or that sword? Most I have, but many I haven't. And it's impossible for me to get my hand on all different swords, guys. Number one, it's a very expensive hobby, and I am so fortunate that I have so many Patreons, even beyond my membership, that donate to my channel, to donate swords to me, donate money to put towards swords, give me companies that send me swords for review. I'm so fortunate and humbled that I'm able to get that opportunity to be able to review these swords, and be able to give those reviews to you and be able to have fun with them and use them and use them on my channel. So that's a great big help for me. As my channel grows, I'll get my hands on more and more swords. So please subscribe if you're not subscribed, and get me some more subs and help me to grow my channel so I can get to that point. My best advice to you is go with a reputable company. Go with Ronin, go with Honway, go with Munetsushi, go with some popular brands that Cult of Adena recommends, okay? And look at the reviews and do your research before you go into it, okay? Do not spend your money on a very high price sword without having experience with it. Now, if money is not an object and you just want to have the best that the market has to offer, you have to go with Skyjiro. Now, you asked me, is there a difference in quality between a Skyjiro and a bowie sword? You better freaking believe it, okay? The parts, Ito, the tightness, it's just, there's a difference between the sword. This is a wonderfully built Skyjiro sword that I also did a review on. Take a look at it. There's a difference in the quality of the Ito, the wrapping, the solidity of the sword, the quality, okay, of the steel of the sword. There's definitely a quality in the edge, in the forming of the edge, and the overall look and durability and toughness of the steel to be able to handle most targets. Okay, there's definitely a difference. And this Skyjiro is in the $700 range, given to me from Skyjiro for a review, and I'm very appreciative of that as well. So there's definitely a difference in the quality of the swords. If you want to go with the best that the production market has to offer, go with Motohara. Go with Evolution Blades, Motohara Evolution Blades. Also, guys, I just want to break in here. You could also go to the eBay secondhand market and find some pretty high quality swords at discounted price if you want a high quality sword. eBay. Go with Citadel, okay? Those are pretty much top quality production style swords, okay? And you understand that also there are American bladesmiths. If you're looking to spend in the thousands, you could go to Walter Sorrells. He'll build a sword for you. Minimum price on his blades are around $5,000 without any of the fittings. It could go up to $10,000 if you want a mahogany blade. Okay, Howard Clark is another big, sword maker in the States. So there are many different price ranges you could go with, guys, but start small, build your collection up, get your experience there, and understand what you're doing before you spend the money and invest in high-priced swords. When you get the experience and you learn to appreciate the katana and all its glory and all its parts, then you learn to appreciate it when you have a quality sword in your hand. That is the best advice I can give you guys. So start low, build yourself up, get the experience that you need, get the training that you need, and have fun cutting, guys. Go out there, cut, buy some swords, go out, cut, have a great time, do your tamashigiri sessions, get your tatami wrap mats, your rolled tatami mats, get your pool noodles, your water bottles, and have a great time swinging your swords around. It's a great hobby. I'm looking forward to helping people throughout the way, as I have my channel, to get themselves into swords. But hope this helped you guys. I don't know if it helped you or if it made you more confused. I hope I gave you some information to help you along the way. And don't forget, I have my Honway that's hopefully coming in, hopefully before the end of this month. We'll see how that works out. Guys, be wise, be smart, do your research. I'll try to answer whatever questions you have, but understand when you guys ask me that question, it's a very long answer, and I have to, it's hard to honestly answer those questions within the form of the comments section. I try, but most of the time it just gets too convoluted. So use this video as a reference, okay, if you're coming across it. Hope this helped you out, guys. It's Joe from Steel Forge and Fire Sword Knife. Till next sword or knife video, thanks for watching. Much love to you guys, and thank you as always for all of your support. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next sword or knife video, guys. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed this podcast style video. See you when I see you. Love to you all. Ciao.